Recap! Last video was so awesome. We met Great Mido, and he's all like, oh, you can't go through here unless you got a sword or a shield. So then we ran away all sad, and then we went in this cave, and it was all like, oh my god, Indiana Jones, this is awesome. And then we saw this treasure chest, it's like, oh my god, there's the sword, we need the sword. Yeah, and it was all like, da-da-da-da. So we needed to get the Deku shield, but it was all like, oh, it costs 40 rupees, that sucks. So we went around looking for random rupees, and we vandalized property, we cut up grasses and stuff, it was awesome. So then we took our 40 rupees, and we went to the shop, and oh, the guy was so cute, he couldn't even reach the desk. Then we got our shield, and it was also like, da-da-da-da. So then we went to see the Great Mido, and he's all like, oh, you need a sword or a shield. And we had our sword or shield, and he couldn't believe it, and he walked away all mad, and he was all sad, and it was funny. Then we went in there, and we killed the Deku Baba, and then we got our stick, and that's where I am now. Recap! Last video was so awesome. We met the Great Deku Tree. He's all like, oh my god, I've been cursed, heal my curse. And we're like, okay, so we went inside his mouth, and it was disgusting. Then we saw these Deku Babas, and oh my god, they were nasty. But then we're like, oh my god, Deku Nut. Then we went up the ladder, oh my god, the map. And then we went to the door, and she's all like, pay attention to what the action icon says. And we're like, whatever. And then we went in the room, and oh my god, slingshot. And then we climbed up the walls, and it was like Spider-Man, just not as awesome. Then we went in the room, oh my god, the compass. Oh my god, the Deku Seeds. Then we used fire. Then we jumped off the cliff and committed suicide. Then we fell through the web, and then more fire. And then we fought the Deku Strub, and he's like, be my brothers in the right order, 2, 3, 1. And we're like, okay. And then he died, and then that's where I left off. Recap! Last video was so awesome. We went under the spike of death, then we fought the spider of death, then we saw the block, she's like, push the block with A, and you're like, shut up! And then we went in the room and used fire, and then we went in the other room and killed the spider of death, then we crawled inside the hole of death, then we fell down the hole of death, then we fought the Deku Shrubs, then we beat him, and he's like, how'd you know our secret? And like, your stupid brother told us, then he's like, you have to beat Queen Goomba by striking her with the sword while she's stunned. I'm like, okay, then we went in the room and they slammed the door, and it was rude. Then all seemed quiet. And then we looked around, and we saw an eyeball. Then he came down, and it was the parasitic armor to read the name going. And we're like, get on my face. And we hit her in the eye with the slingshot. And then she fell. And we hit her with our sword. And then she walked away and went on the sill and tried to have babies. And we're like, no. And then we hit her in the eyeball with the slingshot. And then she fell. Then we hit her with the sword. Then she died. Then she turned into fire. And then we got a heart thingy. And then we saw a blue thingy. And then that's it. Recap! Last video was so awesome. We talked to the Great Deku Tree, and he's all like, hey, thanks for getting rid of my curse, but you didn't really get rid of the curse. You want to find out why, and you want to find out how the universe got created and stuff? We're like, no, not really. And he's like, well, too bad. So this is this guy from the desert, and he's really mean, and he has a black horse, and he can ride through fire! And he wants this shiny thing he called the Triforce, which was made by these naked chicks after they blew up and made the universe and stuff. And the mean guy with the horse, he cannot get his hands on the Triforce, so he'll do a bunch of really bad things. He's like, hey, go see this princess. She's really hot. And then he gave us this green shiny thingy, which was kind of cool. And then he died, and it was really sad, sort of. And Navi's like, let's go to Hyrule Castle, thing. Beep, beep, beep. And then Great Mido's like, oh my god, you killed the Great Deku Tree. And then he died. And then we started to leave, and then Saria popped out, and she's all like, oh no, I don't want you to leave. You're my best friend, and I'll miss you, and I don't want you to get hurt, and I always knew you were different, and I have green hair. Then she gave us this really awesome ocarina, so we can communicate through the power of music or something. And then we left, and it was cool. And then we started our journey, but then this owl popped out, and that's about it. Recap! The last video was so awesome. We met this owl. He's like, ho ho, look up here. I'm going to tell you a bunch of crap that you already know, and I'm going to put the no in front of the yes, so you accidentally pick no and have to hear all this crap all over again. And then it was nighttime, and skeletons! And then we got to the market and met this chick named Melon. She's like, oh, you're a fairy boy. I like fairy boys. And yeah, she was hot. And then we went to the castle and we saw the owl again. He gave more pointless advice with his upside down head. And then we talked to Melon. She's like, hey, take this weird egg and make it hatch. We're like, alright, fine. Then we made it hatch, and we woke up her fat dad, Talon, and he crapped his pants. And then he ran away and died. And I think I'd stop the video there. Recap! The last video was so awesome. We went in the castle, we met these guards, and they're all like, and they sucked. And then we went in Princess Zelda's room, and then this guard was all like, hey, don't cause trouble. Then he threw weapons of mass destruction. And then we looked in the window, and it's like, oh my god, Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, and Yoshi, yeah! Easter eggs for the win. And then we finally met Zelda, and it's all like, and she's all like, hi, I'm Princess Zelda, and the game's named after me for no reason, and I have huge pointy ears, and I saw you in my dream last night, and I can't believe you have green clothes and a fairy, and you want to hear this really long, boring, stupid story about the Triforce? No! And then blah, blah, more Triforce crap, yeah, if some evil guy gets it, he'll rule the world, yada, 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 I don't care, and then you need the Ocarina of Time, you have to go past some door, blah, blah, blah. And then Zelda's all like, oh, by the way, I think this guy might be evil because he has evil eyes and he dresses in black, and his name's Ganondorf, and he's all like, yeah, my name's Ganondorf. And then Zelda's all like, oh my god, he's a bad person, he's gonna do bad things, and I'm gonna wake up my parents if I keep screaming. Recap! The last video was so awesome! We talked to Zelda some more, and she's all like, oh, go find the 2 spiritual stones while I stand around here and do absolutely nothing. Then she wrote this really rad letter, and it was all like, oh my god, Zelda's autograph is on it! That's so stellar! And then we met the really awesome but really manly attendant named Impa, and she had... yeah! She taught us this really amazing lullaby, and it was all like, she's all like, we gotta protect Hyrule and stuff. And look at that mountain. It's a rad mountain. I used to live in that really rad village. It's called Kakariko Village. You should go there and talk to people and stuff. And then she's like, oh, Deku Nut, disappear!
And then we went to this place called Lon Lon Ranch and met the Pringles guy, Ingo, and he's all like, I worked too hard, I should get a promotion or something, blah, blah, blah. And he sucked. Then we talked to Melon, and she was hot, and she was all like, oh, I learned this song, you want to hear it? He goes, woo, 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 woo. And then the opponent's all like, oh, I love that song, I want to run after you. And that was it, that's all we did.
Recap! Last video was so awesome. We talked to Talon. He's all like, hey, you want to pick up some chicks? Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. And speaking of being good at that, you want to marry Melon? She's my hot daughter. Yeah, sure. Nah, just kidding. You're too young for that, stupid. I hope Talon dies. And then there were cows and crates and a heart piece and goes Catilla. And then we searched for this guy named Zex. But then Abby's all like, hey, what would Saria say if you were going to save her? And we didn't give a crap. I just wanted to find out how she dyes her hair green. So I went to talk to her and she's like, I'm not here. And then I was like, hey, Mida, where's Saria? And he's like, I don't know. She's in the Lost Woods. Hey. And I took his money because he sucks. And then we entered the Lost Woods and got lost, and this guy's all like, hey, you want to pull it back? Here you go. And then the owl, again, he's all like, please open your ears and listen for the sound of music and something, blah, 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 blah. I hope he gets shot. I need some water. Recap!
Last video was so awesome. We played this song called the Sun Song, and when we played it, it made the sun go blah! And then we met this guy Dampy, and he's all like, hey, I like to dig holes, you want me to dig a hole? Yeah, oh my god, Harpies! And then we talked to Andrew, he's all like, help me find my chickens, please! And they're all like, bah, bah, bah. That's like all we did, really. Recap! Last video was so awesome. We talked to this guard. He's all like, hey, my son hates me because I won't get him this mask. Will you go get this mask for me so I won't be a deadbeat dad anymore? Will you pay me? No. See ya! And then we went to Death Mountain. It's all like, why is it called Death Mountain? There's really nothing deathly about it at all. Oh my god, spiders! Rolling Goron! And then we went to Goron City and talked to this fat guy, and he's all like, hey, I'm starving. The only way you'll cheer me up is if you play me a really awesome song. Okay, here you go.
Get up off of that thing and dance to you better. Get up off of that thing and dance to you. Sing it.
He's like, yay, I'm happy now because you played a song. You want to go blow these things up even though you're like a kid? Sure. Alright, here's this wrist thing. And then we used our wrist thing to open the cavern up and we dropped a bomb and it was all like, Brah! Okay, not really. It was more like, Brah! Or something. And I think is that it? Yeah, I guess so. Recap! Last video was so awesome, we blew up the entrance to the Dongo's Cavern. It's all like the Dongo's Cavern. Do the cutscene thingy when you enter a new world. And then Navi's all like, hey, watch out for the lava pits. That's nice of you, Navi. You know, very, very generous. And but there's just one problem. You forgot to mention the stupid eyeball thing. And the little green baby fish guys. And the stupid dinosaur people. And the Dodongos, which we didn't bomb, by the way. And the stupid fake statue guy. And the stupid exploding staircase. My bad. Recap. Excuse me. The last video was wait. Oh, it wasn't? It's kind of boring. I mean, yeah, we moved the statue by the ladder, and then there was a stupid bridge thing, and then Navi's all like, oh, watch out for the spikes, and then we still messed up, despite her technique. And we couldn't open that door with the bomb, and then the eyeball guy, and then the freaking dinosaur people again, and then the other eyeball, but, oh, we got bombs, that was kind of cool. And then we dropped them inside of eyeballs, and then, that was really it, though. It really wasn't that awesome.
Recap! Oh, snap. Did you see the last video? Okay, like, we went down this hole, and then, with a stick, and then this creature came up with some really intimidating steps, and then we're like, oh snap, what is that? And then turned around, oh my god, it's the Infernal Dinosaur King! And then we're all like, man, get out of my face, here's a bomb, and he's all like, ooh, a bomb, that looks pretty tasty, I think I'll eat that thing. Oh snap, explosion! And then bam, we hit him with a stick, cause I have a weird pinata fetish. And he was all like, rolling in the lava. And then Darunia fell out the sky, because why walk, I guess? He's all like, hey man, you were awesome, here's a red shiny thingy, and now we're gonna be soul brothers! Oh my god, hugs, volcano, YouTube time limits! The recap guy cannot be here this week, so he's been replaced by this idiot. Recap! Hey kids, did you see the last episode? It was awesome! Link went up the mountain, and then he saw the owl, and then he blew up the entrance to the fairy fountain, and then he saw the great fairy, and then she's like, and then she's all like, hey, I'm gonna give you this awesome power, and then she gave him the awesome power, and then he's like, oh man, I can do this little wave thing, and then we got an awesome ride from the owl, and then we landed on top of the roof, which was weird, and then we saw a cow, which was weird, and then we saw a spider, 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 and then we saw a redad. Ugh. And then we saw a spider. And then we saw a guy who used to be a spider. And then we saved a dog. And then we wondered who the heck would name their dog Richard. And that's all. Recap! Last video, meaning the real last video, not the April Fool's video, was so awesome! We went inside Jabba Jabba's belly and we shot his tonsils, I guess. And then we met Princess Ruto and it went something like this. Go home. No. Go home. No. Go home. Die. Hey, what's up, King Zora? Guess what? I just killed your daughter. Die! The spiritual stone! You finally found it! Yeah, but guess what? I killed Ruto. I don't care about this stupid quest anymore. Die! Now I can finally go home! Is that what happened? Give me a break. It's been like a month.
They made it to the next world.
Yes, I know. When I found out, I hurled. They flew through the rings and played the match game. They helped Ruby and what's his name. They took part in animal abuse. I'd keep recapping, but what's the use? I'm getting tired of doing this crap.
I know. That's why I got another guy to do the recap. Recap! Oh man, Gobi's Valley was so awesome. We met this guy named Trunker. He's all like, hey, I need some water. Blah. And then we pounded this guy named Gobi. And then we went to this guy, Sandy Buddy. He's all like, hey, solve my maze. And then... Yeah, screw that crap. Due to being shot by Grunty, the recap guy's recap will be slightly impaired this video. Recap! Cap! Last video was so awesome. Link went to Lon Lon Ranch, and Ingo's all like, hey, I've taken over the ranch. Would you like to try the horses? Hey, you're good at that. Would you like to try the horses? Hey, you're good at that. Would you like to race? And then we raced the horses, and he's all like, and then we raced the horses, and he's all like, hey, I'm gonna imprison you for eternity. You can never leave. So we're all like, jump the fence, just like the illegal immigrants. Then we went in the forest, and Miles was all like, you shall not pet. You shall not pet. And then we went in the forest, in the maze, and the moblins, spears and stuff. And Sheik's all like, hey, I got an echoey voice, and if you play this song, you'll warp here. Which I could have taught you earlier, but I didn't feel like it. And that's about all we did. Nurse! Nurse! After weeks of surgery, the recap guy has returned. As a cyborg.
Recap! Last video was so awesome. We met Darunia, and he's all like, hey, my brother from another mother. All my people have been locked up. except for my Uncle Remus, who was already locked up before all this. You need to free all them. I'm gonna go try to stop the dragon. Ah! Then he died, and it was funny. He probably should have went to go see How to Train Your Dragon. And then we freed a Goron, and another, and another. And they gave us these stupid tips on how to beat the temple, even though they've only been here for like 20 minutes. Then we went inside this Indiana Jones maze thing, and thankfully, Link did not hide inside of a fridge. That would have been really stupid and not funny, and gay. Anyway, I apologize for my voice. I know I sound like a transformer. The cool one, not the black stereotype ones. But pretty soon, after this recovery, my voice will be back to normal. But anyway, it could be worse. You should have seen what I was like last week. Life is stupid. I never want to hear that stupid 6 a.m. song ever again.
Recap! Hey, my voice is fixed. What? Last video was so awesome, it went something like this. Alright, it's time to turn in that odd potion to that creepy guy in the forest. Ah, Satan! We got a poacher saw! Hey, that's my saw! Give me back my saw! We sort of got a sword. Not really, because it's broken. Yay, upgrade! Yay, naked! Oh my god, my eyes hurt! Volcanic eruption! We got a prescription for drugs! Not really, just eye drops! That wasn't really that awesome, now that I think about it. But hey, my voice works, that's cool.
Time, once and for all! Wait! Wait!
What? Who are you? It doesn't matter. Look. I know you want to go after Ganondorf and have the epic final showdown, and that's so awesome, but you can't yet. You're not ready. What do you mean? Why not? Because before you fight him, don't you think it would be better to first reflect on all the significant moments throughout your entire quest? Come on, Link. You've gone from kid to adult to kid. We can't just end things so quickly. We need to take some time to reflect on everything that's happened. Well, all the major stuff, at least. I mean, we only have 15 minutes here. Okay, sure, but how are we gonna do that? How, you ask? You want to know how? Well, Link, I'll tell you how.
Decoding, ultimate recap, rewind.
This Let's Play has been so awesome! There's this boy named Link who likes to have dreams about really hot princesses. No, I said hot princesses. There you go. And then there's this tree called the Great Deku Tree who's dying, so he called this fairy named Navi, and he's all like, yo, I'm dying, get that kid who doesn't have a fairy and be his guardian, and say annoying stuff like, hey, and listen, and watch out, and get him to stop me from dying and stuff. Sure. And then Link met Navi, and she's all like, hey, I'll be your guardian from now on. And then Great Mido's all like, until you get a sword and shield. So, we got a sword, then we bought a shield. And then we met the Great Deku Tree, and he's all like, stop me from dying and stuff. Okay, sure. Ah, Queen Goma! Nah, just kidding, she's really easy. And then the Great Deku Tree is all like, yeah, you healed my curse. LOL, just kidding, I'm gonna die anyway. But first, here's a really long, boring story about how life got created and stuff. So yeah, go see Princess Zelda, and here's a spiritual stone. Now I'm gonna die. Ah! And then we met Princess Zelda, and we're all like, how come you get your name in the title of the game? It shouldn't be called The Legend of Zelda. You never do anything but stand there. It should be called The Legend of Link, actually. Okay, actually, we didn't say that, but we should have. And then Zelda's all like, I had a dream about Gerard Butler, but then I also had a dream about this boy in green clothes and a fairy, and you showed here and you have green clothes and a fairy, so it must be the prophecy fulfilling itself. Yay! And this is all like, there's this guy named Ganondorf, and I think he's gonna take over Hyrule. Come here, I'll show you what he looks like. And that green ginger in there is known as Ganondorf, and he's evil because, well, he's wearing black. I mean, if you wear black, you're evil. We all know that. So then Zelda's all like, Link, you need to collect the other 2 spiritual stones. It's up to you to save Hyrule. So despite the fact that you have a team of well-trained Hylian soldiers, you want to instead send me, a scrawny 10-year-old boy, to risk my life and take on incredibly dangerous enemies and most likely die while you... What are you gonna do during all this? Stand here? Yeah, screw this. I'm gonna go work for Sega. Never mind. And then we continued our quest and went to Goron City and met the leader named Darunia, and he's all like, hey, I'll help you on your quest, but first I gotta get my freak on. And then we entered the Dodongo's cavern and got a bomb bag, which is made out of a Dodongo's stomach. Hey, as long as it's not made out of Arnold Schwarzenegger's stomach, I'm fine. Seriously, what is that? And then we fought the Inferno Dinosaur King Dodongo, which is a shame because I was looking forward to fighting Queen Dodongo, which would have been almost as frightening as Queen Elizabeth. And then we got the Spiritual Stone of Fire and a big Goron hug, which gave us that nasty Goron flu that's been going around Hyrule. I blame rap music. And then we went to get the 3rd Spiritual Stone and met the Zoras and King Zora. Seriously, where are all the queens in this game? No, you don't count. This game needs more queens. No, queens. No, queens. That'll do. And then we met yet another princess, Princess Ruto, who also wants us to do things for her while she just stands around. Seriously, can't princesses actually fight or do anything? Oh, yeah, sorry, honey. No, you don't count. I hate you. Go make that cake. And then we got our last spiritual stone, and Princess Ruto's like, I love you. I want to be with you. I want to grow old with you. Have children with you. You complete me. And then we filed a restraining order, and then we headed to the castle to open the door of time, and Zelda took off with Impa. No! And then we met the evil king of thieves, known as Ganondorf. And actually, he's the queen of thieves. Finally, a queen. Oh, and he tried to kill us. That was fun. And then we got the title of the game, which replaced the fairy ocarina that we had. Yeah, sorry, Saria. Your green hair is still awesome. I tried doing that myself, and it just wasn't the same. And then we opened the door of time and pulled the Master Sword. Oh my god. Now I'm an adult! That means I can go see R-rated movies! But we still can't purchase alcohol. Crap. So sick of this lame lon milk. And then we met this old fart named Rauru, and he's like, you were supposed to be the hero of time, but you weren't old enough. So we kept you here for 7 freaking years. 7 years? Oh no, I missed the finale of Lost. Don't worry, they didn't answer anything. Oh man. Oh yeah, and everyone died. No! No, I meant in Hyrule. Oh. Yeah, but they all died in Lost too. No! And then we met this guy, girl, hermaphrodite, named Sheik. And she is all like, my name is Sheik, and I'm here to teach you something about time. I will teach you about time all the time, because time is for all that time. You have time for time. And we have to awaken all 6 sages all over Hyrule, because I guess Ganondorf destroyed all the alarm clocks. Man, he has issues. And then we headed for this forest temple, and Sheik is all like, friendship is really cool, because it lasts through time. And the one thing about time is that time is time. And then we went in the forest temple and encountered all these ghosts, and it was just like the show Ghost Hunters, except it was actually real. And then we met Ganondorf, and he's all like, LOL, just kidding, I'm just a fake wannabe Ganondorf. Die! And then we finished the forest temple and met Saria, but she's like, I have to stay here in this water park and do stuff. Oh, I guess we can't go to the prom together? No. By the way, do you like my hair? I think the green is starting to turn yellow in some areas. Those are my highlights. Oh, whoops. And then we met the Deku Tree Sprout, who's like, remember how we told you were a Kukuri? Well, LOL, just kidding. You're actually a Hylian. This means that you can grow up, but all the Kukuri kids can't. Which means if you try to date any of the Kukuri girls, that makes you a pedophile. Wow, your life sucks. And then we headed to Goron City and met Link. Yeah, Link. Except he was a Goron and a big fanboy. Thankfully, he didn't ask me to sign his boobs. And then we met Sheik, and he's like, the heart of time is the one time. That time is time. And then we entered the fire temple and fought the subterranean lava dragon Volve. Sorry, this is a kid-friendly Let's Play. Yeah, I make videos for babies. Next came the water temple, and we don't talk about the water temple. But we do talk about pancakes. And then Kakariko Village was set on fire by the lost smoke monster. Okay, last Lost reference. Pinky promise. And then Sheik is all like, dude, you got the time? Yeah, it's 12:42. Thanks. Then came the Shadow Temple, where we fought Bongo Bongo. I personally was hoping to fight his older cousin, Triangle Triangle. Or perhaps his old college roommate, Maraca Maraca. And no such luck. And then we headed to the desert and freed some carpenters who wanted to be women. I don't see why they didn't just get a sex change. I mean, that's what I did. Then we entered the final temple, the Spirit Temple, and met Naburo, and she's like, hey, you're really short. Can you crawl in here and get the silver gauntlets? Well, if you just needed a really short guy, why didn't you just get this dude? So we got the silver gauntlets, and then, oh no, Naburo died. So we came back as an adult to battle the wonderful witches, Twinrova. Thankfully, these two didn't rhyme everything. So we defeated the witches, which oddly enough did not require pouring water on them. And then we tapped our Kukuri boots and said, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. It didn't work. Life is stupid. So with that, we finally awaken all 6 sages, as confirmed by Raru's gigantic head. So we went to talk to Sheik, and he's like, now that you've awakened the 6 sages, it's time for another story about time. Only this time, I will not talk about time for time. Oh my god, twist! Sheik is actually Princess Zelda! But Princess Zelda would not be Princess Zelda without being kidnapped! Ah, stupid princess is getting kidnapped. It's all your fault. Then the 6 sages used their power of Skittles to create a rainbow bridge. Route to Ganon's castle. Taste the rainbow. Then we entered Ganon's lovely home. Not too shabby. We did wannabe versions of the other temples all over again. And then we went up 27 staircases and then made a slinky go all the way down. Okay, we didn't, but we totally should have. And then we decided to do an ultimate recap and recap everything that happened. And in that recap, we talked about this boy named Link who liked to have dreams about really hot princesses. And, oh, wait.
Complete. Malfunction.